Conflicts are actually centered around three issues, only three issues. Any conflict in this world, either they are centered around resources, or they are centered around processes, or they are centered around people. Low to medium level of conflict, which is centered around resources and processes, can actually be functional, it can lead to good consequences. Because if I say, you're doing this using process A, why don't you try process B? There could be a better idea that comes out of this conflict by the resolution of this conflict. But any conflict which is centered around people is always going to be dysfunctional. For example, if I say, hey, in your podcast, you put the camera angle at this way. Would you like to try it that way? Versus I say, you don't know how to do a podcast.
Right.
I'm 100% sure that you're likely to take the first statement more kindly than the other. Why?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because in the second one, I have made it personal. So in any negotiation, don't make it personal. Focus on the issue. Even if the other person is making it personal, keep bringing it back to the issue at hand. Number one. Number two, and this is a result of my PhD thesis. My PhD is on negotiation. The apparent reason of a conflict is hardly ever the real reason of a conflict. To figure out the real reason of a conflict, you will need to dig deeper and look into the past as well. For example, if I ask you, recall the last time you lost your temper on someone, and then tell me, was that the real reason? Chances are that things were building up, and that simply happened to be the last straw on the camel's back. That simply was the trigger. But things were building up. And likewise, in any conflict, dig deeper to find out what is the real reason. So that is the second thing. Third, listen to understand when you are negotiating and not to respond. Most people tend to listen to give a smart answer or to give a retort or a comeback. But you must listen to understand. Why? Because in negotiation, there are two things. One is called position in a negotiation. The other is called interest in a negotiation. Position in a negotiation is the often vocalized stance or posture that a person takes, where the person says, I want this. Whereas interest in a negotiation is often non-vocalized real need that a person has. And you have to listen to understand what is that real need. I'll give you one very quick example. A brother and sister fighting for 20 oranges. They wanted 20 oranges. So the father, in his wisdom, gave 10 oranges to the son, 10 oranges to the daughter. Who was satisfied? Neither, because they wanted 20 oranges. The mother comes back home after work, and she gets to know of this brouhaha. So she goes to the daughter and says, hey, what did you need the oranges for? The daughter says, Mom, I was trying to make some pickle, so I need the oranges for their peel. Then she goes to the son and says, hey, what did you need the oranges for? Son said, Mom, I was trying to make some jam, so I need the oranges for their pulp. So what did the mother do? She gave the peel of 20 oranges to the daughter and pulp of 20 oranges to the son. Now who was satisfied? Both. So the former statement where a person is saying, I want 20 oranges, is called position in a negotiation. Whereas the latter statement where the person, after discussion, talks about, I need the peel of 20 oranges or I need the pulp of 20 oranges, that is called interest in negotiation. And therefore, focus on interests of the other party. Try to find out what is their real interest. Try to also introspect and see what is your real interest in a negotiation. Because sometimes we miss the woods for the trees. We completely neglect and ignore the big picture, the larger purpose behind a negotiation. So if you get to that point, and I can talk about this as well. So even this between the groups over here and between the government or the administration, I think one of the challenges is, have we tried to address and figure out the real interest of both the parties? And I think if we dig deeper and try to find that out, things would be much more easier and perhaps more positive.
I mean, that's a wonderful way